involvement in Yalari as well as through alumni and the alumni board as well. But yeah, we'd like to just kick straight into it. So we've got our first question for everyone tuning in to Waverley. So can you share a little bit about your experience receiving a boarding scholarship and how it inspired you to establish Yalari?
So my grade 7 teacher, Mrs. Rosemary Bishop, in 1979 was instrumental in organising for me to go to boarding school at Toowoomba Grammar School. I went to school in Mergen, grew up in Mergen. Mum and dad from Cherbourg, and then 3 younger brothers, 3 younger sisters. And my journey started at Toowoomba Grammar School in 1980, and Mrs. Bishop organised a scholarship for me to go to Toowoomba Grammar School, and I had the best time there. My brothers at Toowoomba Grammar School, we finished in 1984. I've gone back for my 10, 20, 30 and 40-year reunions. And sitting down in 2004 at the kitchen in Southport, and Llew asked what we wanted to do, and I always wanted an opportunity to give other Indigenous children the opportunity of having a boarding school scholarship like I did, and it just started. And just like the Nike ad, you just do it. We're not educated with tertiary qualifications, and we just jumped in and we just hung on for the ride because there were so many wonderful people that just believed in what we were doing. And our core business hasn't changed since we started in 2005. As you said, Marley, we select Indigenous children from regional, rural and remote communities around Australia to go to boarding schools. The number one thing about us is this is a choice for our Indigenous families, whether they're Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islanders. And I say to the children all the time that boarding school is a choice. You're no less Indigenous just because you go to a boarding school. And I'd like to say for all of our people out there that have been with us on the journey since 2005, we are very grateful for your support. We are very grateful for all of our Yalari staff, this machine to keep moving on. When we first started in 2005, Queen, I think we were the SSO, we were the philanthropy team, we were the, cup of tea and
finance.
You were the finance department. My finance skills were not at that level just then. But I'm grateful to everybody that's been on the journey with us, and where we are now at 20 years, you sit back and reflect and think, look what we've done, but it's all of us together. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely. And like you've already touched on a little bit, but I'd like to ask you, Llew, as well about the experiences of like how Yalari really came to life and like some of those earlier memories of what it was like being every department of just you two and how that really worked out and how it's shaped to be today.
I look back now and I think it was so exciting. And Waverley's right. We just hung on for the ride because of the support. But there was times when I remember it was about December, and I said to Waverley, let's do our first orientation camp. It was like 3.5 weeks later, and we rounded up 17 children from basically the East Coast, including your brother,
Yep.
we had to fly him up from Tasmania. A lot of these children were still 11 years old.
Yeah.
So, and Wavy and I did the whole thing. And now we have orientation camps that have 120 young children. Alumni come and help us and staff. So I just think we just did a lot of it. The first orientation Central Australian camps, again, that you were on.
Yep.
And they were just really exciting times. But I look back now and think, how brave were we all? Everybody who was part of Yalari, our family, our friends, everyone just sort of looked at us like, okay, let's do it. And it was, it's really exciting. And I just, sometimes I look at the photos and think, wow, we're just so lucky to have had the opportunity to do that with the Indigenous communities around Australia, with the very generous people as well. So, yeah, loved every minute of it.
Yeah, and it's been such a journey as well. And like part of that is the trust that you've built within the families and the communities to, as you say, allow kids to get on planes, to go interstate and come to these amazing camps and opportunities. And kind of the next question to you as well, Llew, about the kind of challenges you faced in those earlier stages and how it's come to be and how you've kind of adjusted and things like that.
That's right. Like, flying unaccompanied minors all around Australia, there's a challenge. But we would meet them at the gate with our red Yalari T-shirts on so they couldn't miss us, and there's their little eyes looking out. It was also, you're right, Marley, the trust. If we didn't build that trust right away and very fast, it wouldn't have worked. So we still go to every family's home, their community, somewhere that they feel comfortable to do those interviews with everybody, not just the child, mum, dad, nan, everybody can be part of that interview, and they need to be, because without everyone's support, it doesn't work. It's too hard, you know that. So I think that sort of challenge, but it was word of mouth as well. Eh, with all of our supporters, not just the Indigenous community, but the corporate community, the schools. I remember we had 2 schools. Suddenly we had 4 schools. A principal would ring us up and say, hey, I'm spoken to this principal. So I think trust was a big thing. As long as we had that and we were real and honest and spoke about how it really is, it was always going to work for everybody.
Yeah, and it's definitely worked. It's been 20 years, and like the trust amongst like the corporate partners, the alumni, the current students, the families, the communities, like it's really broadened the horizons and the word of mouth, and you'll find cousins, and like it's very rare you go into a community that haven't heard of Yalari, or even you two individually as well. And so kind of, you've already spoken about the support a little bit. I'll throw to Waverley for a second about the Pathways team support and how that's grown and how that is shaped today, and how that was when you first started as the Pathways team sitting here.
And I think the success for us, I think the Marley was not until we started getting graduates that we had a success program going, and then we then decided, you know, what do we do with all of our young adults that finish grade 12? We still got to keep supporting them, and you know, all of our children that come on, you know, the families, the communities, you know, we're part of a big Yalari mob now and Yalari family. And you know, the biggest thing for us as an organisation, with all of our friends and supporters, you know, strangers become friends, friends become family. And I think with the Pathways team now, you know, with our student support officers and our children going from grade 7 to grade 12 on the Rosemary Bishop Scholarship, so Mrs. Bishop's legacy will live on in the lives of every child that will come on Yalari starting in grade 7 right through to grade 12. And then, you know, we pass them on to the Pathways team at grade, you know, 10, 11 and 12. And then that's where the relationships is built and fostered. And I'd like to think that, you know, the relationship that our Pathways team has and our student support team and that allows everyone to know that they're part of something bigger. And for us in that Pathways team, every single child on Yalari is branded with the Yalari brand, whether they like it or not. And what they do with this education is their choice. And all we want them to do is just, you know, chase their own dreams and goals with advice of career advisors or what our Pathways team. But it's very exciting for us because we've got an alumni advisory committee, you know, which you're a part of. We've got two members of our alumni on the board. We've got alumni on each of our dinner committees. So the future for Yalari is in good hands. And it's in the hands of our alumni that are going to make a difference in this country, which is outstanding for us all, because at the end of the day is that what you do with this education is going to be transforming for us and our communities all around Australia, which is what we're doing. But I just want to emphasise that, you know, strangers become friends, friends become family. And we do this collaboratively as both Indigenous and non-Indigenous people in this country, where for me, I don't see colour and I don't care whether you're black, white, brindle, purple or corrugated. We just do it and we just be friends about it. And we're not comparing us to anybody else. And there's a lot of wonderful organisations out there, but our biggest growth right now is our alumni, you know, where we've got 630 right now. We just got to keep looking after each other and care for each other. And that's what we've done always. And that will not change.
Yeah, and like even for me going to university and the different pathways that I've taken throughout my life professionally and higher education, it is very rare that I won't find a Yalari graduate somewhere. Like I've met people at university I didn't realise were also Yalari graduates because I might have mentioned something and they're like, oh, that sounds really familiar. And so now I've got some really close friends who are in different years, but I've met them at different stages of my life. And I think that really goes to show the trust and the relationship building and how we are as a family within the Yalari community as well. And it's like amazing to see the impact that has had on all of our lives as well. You kind of already mentioned a little bit about where some of our alumni are, and I'll throw to you, Llew, about any specific people you'd like to kind of share the stories of, or some of our alumni and like our alumni engagement board and the dinners and stuff.
Look, I would love to talk individually about so many of you guys, and I can, but we haven't got 4 hours. So I'll speak broadly. I mean, there is our oldest alumni are now in their very early 30s, and some have got their degrees, their double degrees, their masters. So I think, I burst with pride at that. I also burst with pride when I get photos of a baby that's born, and some of our male alumni sending me a photo of their sons and daughters, and I just think what we're creating is really good families and parents as well, and encouraging that is it's just so important. I just see the difference in the next generation's attitude towards education as well, feeling like it's their it's something that they really, really want. So we've got many of our alumni back on their country, on other people's country, doing their work. That's so important as well. And there's so many alumni in the cities, different cities that they went to school in, doing really important work too. I think everybody's journey is different and at different times, and that's okay. And we support everybody. It doesn't matter what they want to do right now. And I think as an alumni group, just not the support from Yalari, but the support for each other, as you say. We now have, as Waverley said, 2 alumni on our board, which is really important when we are creating an Australia that has got Indigenous leadership guiding our country to be one of equity and justice and freedom for everybody. So I think I'm really proud of the alumni that are stepping up and having the confidence to take on these roles. And that's the only way we're going to be able to sit around and have a cup of tea and
cake there, Bubba.
And cake. Yes, there's cake downstairs. Yeah.
This interview is interrupting our food.
Golf time.
Jesus. Yeah, and it's funny, I was in Western Australia a couple of years ago, and I rang back to Auntie and I said, "Bah, gee, this bloody Yalari getting in the road of my golf, Auntie." And I said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "You've been over there for 7 days. You've had 7 rounds of golf. What more do you want?" And I said, 8. So this Yalari is getting in the road of my golf, but that is okay. I'm happy to accept that, my queen.
He fits both in very nicely.
Very nice.
Yes.
Balance, all about balance.
Yeah. And we've talked a little bit about this, and like we have done some beautiful reflecting the last 20 years, but moving forward. So I'd like to ask you, Waverley, what are your aspirations, goals, the next 20 years? And that's going to be 2045.
So 2045, Marley, I reflected on that this morning. So I'm 57 right now. So another 20 years, I'll be 77. Currently I have 5 grandchildren. I have 4 grandsons and a granddaughter. I want to have some time with my little grannies. I want to watch them grow up and become adults. That's first and foremost in my mind. We're educating the second generation of Yalari children right now. 2045, what Yalari will look like? Yalari will look the same as what we've got right now. Our core business will not change from selecting Indigenous children from regional, rural and remote communities around Australia. That's our core business. Our values of Yalari of compassion, openness, respect, resilience, inclusiveness and excellence, that will not change. So every family, every corporate company, every philanthropic body, every person involved with Yalari will have a value set with us that is about Corrie. And the most important thing is inclusiveness. Whereas, and I keep saying it over and over, strangers become friends, friends become family. And what we do in this space together collaboratively is about, changing minds, changing hearts, changing stereotypes of what this country offers for us as Australians. So 2045 is going to look like, we will be self-sustainable. We will be operating in perpetuity. So we're asking our friends and supporters and all of our families out there that in the future, at 2045, Yalari will be, by then, educating will most probably be our 4th generation of children that we'll be educating. and that's exciting. I'm committed to Yalari. I'm committed to my wife till the day they put me in the ground. And I remember saying to what I want in my coffin. I want a Leatherman, a Yalari bucket hat, and dying with my boots on.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, we get an opportunity to see the generosity of so many wonderful people. We get an opportunity to see humanity at its best in regards to that people believe in an ideal that we can do something together collaboratively. And to all the people that have supported us all these years, I want to say to you, stick with us for the next 20 years. We are going to transform this country. We are going to have so many wonderful alumni making a difference in this country, and we will have over 2,000 educated Indigenous young men and women around Australia. I look forward to the day when we will have alumni in Yalari in senior significant roles and positions working side by side with all of our staff. And I just want a big shout out for the 20 years of our board, our staff, our current board. I just want to say thank you so very much for the governance for us all these years. And that's been a big thing for us, Marley. When we first started, it was just an idea.
Mm.
And we just hung on for the ride, and that's all we've done. But as you say, Marley, I travel around Australia, and a lot of people see the Yalari logos or the car or a bus, and I just want to share one Yalari story with you. I did the Larapinta Trail. We lost my mum in 2021, and I walked the Larapinta Trail from Alice Springs to Mount Sonder in 2022. And I went to my first camp, and then I carried all my food, and I shared with some people just about what I was doing with Yalari. And then I had a 33-kilometre walk the next day. And about 8 or 9 people walked straight up to me just as I was walking in. And they said to me, "Oh, you do that Yalari thing?" I said, No, brother. It must be some other black fellow on the trail. and I wasn't wearing any Yalari gear. And that's the beauty of Yalari. We are friends and friend raising. We are true to ourselves in regards to Corrie. So where we're going to be in 2045, Marley, the good news is the future of Yalari is in the hands of the alumni. The bad news is the future of Yalari is also in the hands of the alumni. And that's what we're going to put it to. Because I know for us, it will still remain our company, but we've entrusted our first staff member to Yalari. Now we've got all these wonderful staff that have been doing stuff for us. And I just want to shout out to our staff to say thank you so much for what you do for us as an organisation. The growth for us as an organisation, we are grateful. We are so thankful for where we are right now.
Mm.
And for us to get to 2045 is that people believe that we can do something collaborative together to change this country for the better. And it is. And when you're involved with Yalari, and I just want to emphasise to people that are out there, if your values in your organisation and individuals is compassion, openness, respect, resilience, inclusiveness, and excellence, you have a seat in a jersey at Yalari.
Mm.
If you don't have that, I'm sorry, you will not sit down at the table with us. But I just wanted to say this machine, this Yalari organisation is going forward, only forward.
Yeah.
And the lessons we have along the way is about us improving our services and our support for our Aboriginal and Torres Strait children that will come onto our schools in years to come. But I also just want to say the legacy of Mrs. Rosemary Bishop will live in the lives of children that have been coming now and into the future. And her legacy will live on. And I'm grateful. The man I am today because of my mum and my dad and my family, but to Mrs. Rosemary Bishop that's seen something in me all those years ago. But the mates that I've made in my life, I'm very, very grateful. And so thank you so very much for that.
Yeah, no, and it's exciting to see how where we started and like those early days and how we're going to be journeying forward. Because as you say, we're only moving forward. Like we can be reflective and learn about how we've been made mistakes, we've gotten things right, and how that room to improve and moving forward. And it's really exciting. And yeah, because I've been a part of Yalari for so long as well. I joke mostly that I'm part of the furniture because I'm always around and hanging. Yeah, yeah, and I think like sharing a little bit about my journey as well as like being a part of those many first situations, like the first outback camp, I was on the first Sherbrooke walk as well.
First senior leaders.
First senior leaders in that cohort. What else? Like, I've been a part of everything. I've got that many t-shirts and jumpers, and like they all sit at home in a beautiful box at home with mum. And so it's part of like the journey of those early days and being on I think I was on the second or third orientation camp that was at Talbudger as well, and sitting there, and there was like next to no staff, and it was just you mob. And like I distinctly remember sitting there on the basketball courts, like it was so hot, flying in from Tassie, like overnight. I was sweating bullets, like not knowing what was going on. I didn't meet any of these people before other than my interview. And I remember playing saxophone, being so proud of myself. But like, so it's those really early days that like built the trust. And the fact that my parents let me get on a plane and as unaccompanied minor with my brother. I was 11, he was 12, and being put on that plane to a place I'd never been to before. And then just always saying yes to any opportunity that came up. So and like the first Outback camp was like a really big learning opportunity for me to, like, I was born in Alice Springs, I've got family there, and so being able to see family as we were there, but have that time out of high school to go and experience stuff, being at predominantly white school as well, and like not any other black fellas in my school. So it was great to be able to have that week and connect with other black fellas. That was like pretty much being with family. And that's a testament to the experience that you'd really kind of built within us as like alumni and current students as well, and the different journey we've all been on and connecting in with each other at different points. But like it's been amazing. And then going on to higher education, going to university, doing my undergraduate and masters, and really instilled in me early on the importance of education. And again, that's why I still continue to engage as an alumni, come to the orientation camps and see all the little ones running around and reminisce about, half the time, just the other alumni and I sit there and reminisce about our first camps. And I remember when we were doing this and this, and it's such an experience, and it's a really nice reflective behavior that we have when we get together. And it's like getting together with family and cousins, and it's like one of the best things I look forward to every year when I get to hang out and engage with other alumni and staff and see how it's grown from the table in your garage to like this huge office. We've got how many staff like nowadays? 45 staff, and shout out to the mob downstairs as well doing the morning tea. But and it's been like an amazing journey, and being an artist, but also working in the higher education space as well outside of being an artist. And the impact on Yalari, to me to this day, I wouldn't be the same person I am today without Yalari, and the opportunities of me being able to go overseas in high school as well, because the high school I went to, and being chosen as a delegate to represent my high school twice on 2 occasions at an international conference was, again, it made me the person I am today, and the legacy I want to leave of getting involved in community work and engagement in education. Like it's some really big words that like really mean a lot of things to me, and I don't think I would have that same opportunity if I wasn't given the opportunity to come to any Yellow opportunity, like camps and all of those resume working at like workshops. I used to have the best resume when I was in year 12, so thank you for them. But it's been such an amazing journey, and so thank you for that as well. And like we're in a big space of reflectiveness for 20 years, got 20 years to move forward to at least as well, and so it's been an amazing journey. So is there any lasting kind of comments before we get into the exciting stuff next?
Exciting stuff. I'd just like to say that when I sit here and hear these stories, I think, I burst with pride, and I love boasting about what each and every one of you do. But it's you guys. It's when we do the interviews, we see it. You're young, but we can see something, and we just take that chance and give you the chance and your families the chance to just expand. But it's already in you.
Mm-hmm.
You were always going to be the woman you are. So we're very proud.
Thank you.
Yeah. Exciting stuff now.
Yeah, and then I just want to I suppose in closing is to say thank you so very much for your journey, Marley, and we've watched you grow, and for we've seen 11, 12 years of age, and I think that's the beauty of what we get an opportunity to see, and what you do and what you become. First and foremost is what from your family and we're just in partnership with your families. And that's what we've done all the way around with every single Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander child on Yalari, and that will remain. And as long as we are honourable to your family and your ancestors, we will continue that until till we pass away. And I know Yalari is in good hands, and it will be. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You still play saxophone?
No, I had to give up those dreams.
Recorder.
On's the recorder.
Recorder.
Yeah, we'll get into some of the exciting stuff as well. So to celebrate 20 years of Yalari, we're hosting an exclusive art auction featuring the paintings of Yalari students and alumni. This auction will close on Thursday, the 17th of April at 5 p.m. So you can bid through Lloyd's Auctions by scanning the QR code on the screen. And the featured artists, we're going to go through that right now. So we have our first artist, Llew Harrison, who's a Gungaloo and Waka Waka woman from Wondai, Queensland. She's a Yalari alumni from class 2019 to 2024. She was at St Margaret's Anglican Girls' School. So her piece is called Yalari's Growth. So this shows how over the years Yalari has brought Torres Strait Islander and Aboriginal people closer by giving them an opportunity to go to boarding school. So we also have our second piece, which is by Laurie Clevens, who's a Waka Waka woman from Cherbourg in the South Burnett area of Queensland. She's a Yalari alumni from 2010 to 2013. She went to the Glennie School, and her piece is called Journey On. This represents the ongoing journey of Yalari past, present, and future, showing the connection between different tribes and cultures that come together because of Yalari's impact on education. So our third piece is by Grace Carter, who's a Gundindi, Gadaji, Gumbaya, Gadgerong and Wari woman from Derby, WA. Bit of a mouthful. She's a current Yalari Year 10 student. She's at Methodist Ladies College. Her artwork is called Spirit of the Sky, and her work represents what 20 years of Yalari means to her, with the eagle representing Waverley and Llew. And so we have our fourth piece, which is by Naomi Buchanan. She's a Wadaji and Butcherla woman from Rockhampton. She's a Yalari alumni from 2018 to 2023. She went to the Glennie School. Her piece is called Ripples of Knowledge. Her piece reflects a reflecting journey across time, guided by two turtles, symbols of wisdom and endurance. And our last piece is by Summer Lowe. She's a Gurunjanji, Wambanya and Larrakia woman from Darwin. She's a Yalari alumni from 2018 to 2023. She went to the Methodist Ladies College, and her piece is called Constellation of Futures. Her piece represents the symbolism, the guidance, and future that Yalari offers to its students and alumni, lighting the way as they navigate their personal and professional journeys. So also just like to remember, make sure you get those auction items in before Thursday, I believe, and have a look at the social media as well if you want some more information about that. So to close some things up, all the proceeds from the Yalari Art Auction and our Tea Yarns virtual event will go to the Yalari Foundation, so which will help us operate in perpetuity and continue to provide scholarships to students in the future as well. So this is really important, so make sure you get your bids in. They're hot property. And this will provide pathway opportunities to Indigenous communities and for the next 20 years and beyond, which we've already talked about and we're very excited. So to get things moving along. But I'd also like to shout out everyone that's joined today, that's taken the time out of their busy schedules to get a cuppa, make some cake, have those yarns, work through the booklet as well. It's really important to engage in those and have reflective natures of these experiences and your involvement with Yalari and being part of our community and coming to dinners and events and just getting involved with us generally. And so it's a really big shout out to you, Mob, as well. So thank you for joining us today. But also like to thank these two sitting right here for everything they've started and things and how they've worked. And it's just been an amazing thing. So do you both have any lasting remarks before we close up?
Thank you, Mark. You go.
Lasting remarks, I suppose. To everybody that's believed in us all these years, I just want to say thank you very much from Llew and I, and for the belief in what we do together. There's a quote by Madiba, the late Mr. Nelson Mandela, that says, education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. And I'd like to think that Yalari is a tool and an opportunity where we can do something together. And Yalari is a safe place. And to everybody that's on today and everybody that's going to be involved with Yalari in the future, we provide a safe place for everybody to be true to themselves and be authentic. We have an opportunity where we get an opportunity to do things together that makes a difference in the lives of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children that then become young adults. But I think we also give an opportunity for people to see the generosity that we're doing business differently. And if you want a different outcome in this country, we're going to do things differently. But it's only through collaboration, it's only through friendship, it's only through respect, it's only through believing and giving everyone an opportunity of what we can do together. So to everybody that's been on the journey with us for 20 years so far, thank you so very much for your generosity and your time and your support. But I look forward to the next 20 years at, at the 30-year mark, we'll do another shout out to everybody that's been with us for 30 years. We'll do a shout out in 2045. And I know that at the end of the day is that Yalari is in good hands. To everybody that's been with us all these years and to all the people that, whether it's been a short time or a long time, we are doing significant stuff together. And the in perpetuity and the sustainable model for Yalari into the future is about us continuing on. And I'd like to think that we are making a difference in this country, one educated Indigenous child at a time. And that is what we're doing together. And Yalari stands for friendship, Yalari stands for collaboration, Yalari stands for partnership. And the most important thing is that strangers become friends, friends become family, and that's what we do. So thank you very much. Happy morning teas and plenty of cake to everybody too out there in Yalari world.
6/11/84. Dear Mrs. Bishop, well, I suppose this letter would come as a shock to you, seeing that I haven't been in contact for so long, and I apologise for this. I'm writing this letter for a purpose and because I feel that I have to. My whole school career is nearly over. It will all be over in 23 days to be exact. I can remember you saying to me,
just to do your best, keep on going and you'll get through. I just opened a door for him and he went through that door and he's done all the work. And it takes a really special boy to do that.
The genesis of Yalari was my experience at Toowoomba Grammar School. I wanted to give other Indigenous children the opportunity to go into boarding school, didn't I, Queen?
That's right. And my part was to say, that's a good idea. Let's do it.
Our first Sydney dinner was a big step forward. It's been a dream come true to know that you can give back to your community. Whereas now we've had dinners all around Australia and all of our Yalari children attend every dinner. And another significant moment for me was our first orientation camp where Kyle Blakeney asked, what happens if the money runs out? What happens to my scholarship? We made a promise to Kyle and every other Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander children in this country that's on Yalari that we would ensure that the money would never run out.
And then there was that pivotal moment where we had twice as many students who graduated year 12 on Yalari than the children were on the program.
A significant moment for us is we've got 2 alumni now on the Yalari board. That's significant. We're now in the leadership development phase of our alumni. The vision for me is that we will have Yalari alumni that will be working for us, and we already do have, but they'll be in senior positions within Yalari. They're already on the board. And I'd like to think that, we're handing the baton on to our alumni that are going to be serving our people, serving Australians for generations. We want to do business a little bit differently than what has been done in the past for Indigenous communities. We want a partnership with traditional owners. We want partnership with, corporate companies, philanthropic bodies and foundations to make a significant difference.
What's happened with Yalari in the last 20 years guides us to what's happening in the next 20 years. And I think it's those leadership positions that the children are taking, whether it's leading their own family, the school, the community, Australia in any capacity. That's what we need to help support going forward, because I think that's how Australia will become a better country for everybody.
I think we've seen the generosity of Australians, haven't we? And
I think that's the impact that Yalari has had on Australia. It's very hard because we're in the middle of it. But you sort of step outside yourself and think, what is the impact we've had? And I think it's just bringing a whole community together.
Every person that has been involved with Yalari, we just want to say thank you so very much for what you've done for us. We want you to stay with us for the next 20 years because we are going to transform this country into something that we as a nation have played a part in.